Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is another NHL discussion video. Just a couple days ago I was talking about what my predictions are for the upcoming free agency and stuff like that, what's going to be going on and who's going to be the big winners and stuff like that. I don't remember what I fully said, but there was a lot about the Rangers, I'm pretty sure, and them getting Artemi Panarin, which of course they got Artemi Panarin going to the New York Rangers. Which is absolutely awesome. A lot of the players that were rumored to go to places actually went to places. Sergei Bobrovsky went to Florida. New York Rangers got Artemi Panarin, which speeds up their rebuild, which we haven't seen in a long time, something like this. We also seen Sebastian Aho get offer sheeted by Montreal Canadiens. There's so much stuff that went on. It was absolutely crazy. So let's get into everything. And the first topic will be the biggest free agent in NHL this year, the biggest unrestricted free agent, of course. And, of course, he went to the New York Rangers. And, man, this makes the New York Rangers a really big powerhouse of a team. Already getting Panarin on your team, right? Of course, you're going to have to clear out some cap space. Oh, excuse me. Because you only have $8 million left. But this offseason, you got Cable Kako. Not just that, you got Adam Fox, Jacob Trouba for your defense core. And then to finish everything off, you got Artemi Panarin, $11.6 million for the next 7 years, which is ridiculous at itself. That's $11.6 million for a player like Artemi Panarin, but this is a player that will really kind of build this team to make them really good, and this is a real good way to accelerate your rebuild. Yeah, there's still a lot of key pieces missing for the New York Rangers. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team next year because this is how their first line is probably going to look like. You're going to have Panarin, Spinacek, Mabel, Capo, Kako playing up on the first line, but he will definitely be playing up against the first line with Artemi Panarin in the future. Your second line will be Chris Kreider, Vladislav Nemestankinov, maybe Schromm, maybe Capo, Kako. You got Philip Chaitel, you got Elias Anderson, you got Brett Howden. You got so many players that you're looking for the future. Valiyev Karpovtsov you got in the minors. I mean, there's a lot of good future guys that the New York Rangers have to look at for the future, and it's really exciting what they have. And I'm really excited to see what the New York Rangers will bring in the future with this team. It's a really exciting thing to see because some teams you just want to they just sit back and they don't get any free agents. They just sit back and get the tiny little players and they just keep drafting. But this team, they went after that big name player in the free agency. They knew that if they picked up Artemi Panarin, they would have a player to build around and have a player to maybe regenerate this New York Rangers team. And maybe give one last hurrah to Henrik Lundqvist. So, it's a big win for the New York Rangers, I think. This was a huge, monumentum victory for them. Now let's get on to the next team who got the second biggest free agent in the free agency, who has now $9 million. Now, this team has been doing tons of changes. They have $5.4 million. They picked up Joe Quenneville as their head coach. They got Sergei Bobrovsky to a $10 million, 7-year contract, which I think is a little stupid. I kind of think that since they just got Spencer Knight and he's stuck on a full-blown no movement clause, which I also think is stupid to do because he's 30 years old. And you have Spencer Knight, who's a young stud of a kid, and you want to develop him into your starting goalie, but yet you just signed Sergei Bobrovsky to the biggest contract. You better hope and pray that it takes a pretty good amount of time for Spencer Knight to develop, and you better give him that time to develop. It's going to be a real big bummer when and we're going to see this in the future, that they're going to have a big problem with that. They also signed Anton Strawman to a 3-year, $5.5 million deal, which was absolutely retarded. This is like Andrej Sekera all over again. Andrej Sekera now, yes, he was a good defenseman, and up until he got injured, he was a best defenseman for the money that we paid for him, just not when he was injured. And, of course, he hasn't got his right footstep, and, of course, he's definitely worth $1.5 million for the Dallas Stars. Florida Panthers, $5.5 million for a guy that's 32 years old who is struggling with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't think this is your smartest move. He only played 47 games for them last year. So how in the hell is this at all a smart move for you guys? Picking up someone that's 32 years old who only played 47 games? I mean, you're not doing what you should be doing. It's a dumb move. You also got Brent Conley, 3.5. He was also rumored to go to the Oilers, which he didn't, of course. So, I mean, it's a good move for them. I definitely not hating on it. That was a good move for what they needed at the time. And I think it was definitely a good maneuver by them. Brent Conley will definitely be a good third-line player. And they also picked up Noel Achari from the Boston Bruins, who will definitely be a nice depth piece for the team. Everything is coming into place for the Florida Panthers. You're going to really see this team take the next step. And with Joe Quenneville as their head coach, you're really going to see another step for the Florida Panthers. And with Sergei Bobrovsky, he's going to carry this team like he did with Columbus. If Sergei Bobrovsky's having an all-star year and Aaron Ekblad's playing good and you have Keith Yandel, this defense core could be one of the best defense cores in the league if all those players step up to the ability that they should be playing. The three biggest free agent to go was Matt Duchene, who signed a $8 million deal with the Nashville Predators. Now, there's been a lot of stories with this team, and it's been mainly with their centermans, where they just fucking never play that good. Ryan Johansson was an elite centerman, and he hasn't been able to live to that potential. I mean, he's still a fantastic player. You can't say anything about that Ryan Johansson's a shit player. He's a good player, and I think Matt Duchene's going to be that especially good first-line player for them. Do I think it's going to solve their offensive problems? No, I really don't think so. They have $5 million left, and you got a lot of players that you need to sign back. Do you really think that you have fucking like 5 playmakers on the team? You traded away one of your goal scorers in Kevin Fiala. Do you really think that Mikael Granlund is going to score you goals? The guy that had 15 goals last year. Do you think he's going to score goals for you? Do you think Matt Duchene is going to fix your goal scoring problems? Who only had he had 30 goals last year? So you have some guys that can get 30 goals, but you have a lot of fucking playmakers that are not doing very much. Kyle Turris, a guy that was supposed to be one of your main goal scorers, only had 7 points. Or 7 goals, I mean. This is a huge struggle for the Nashville Predators. It seems where offense goes to die. And you trade away PK Subban, which is one of your best defensemen. You're looking pretty weak defensively. Unless Dante Fabro jumps up to be one of the best defensemen for the Nashville Predators. Do I really see this team going back to the Stanley Cup Finals? No, I really do not. I don't see this team at all improving with picking up Matt Duchene. And the ruins of the Columbus Blue Jackets after this. I mean, they have lost so much. And that's why we led up to this point of talking about the 3 biggest free agents, is because the Columbus Blue Jackets had those 3 biggest free agents. And Panarin, Bobrovsky, and Duchene. They lost out on all 3 of them. Panarin went to the Rangers, Bobrovsky went to Florida, and Duchene went to Nashville. Guess who they got? Gustav Nyquist. Man, it sucks. And we haven't seen this in a long time. Like, as a team, like, you usually see, like, Columbus was so close to being in a playoff position. You would see some teams just blow it up if they knew that they weren't going to get those players. Jurek Kakalainen went after something different. He decided that he knew that this team was capable enough, and he decided to go for it. Picking up Duchene, picking up Dzingel, picking up a ton of players to help this team out, push themselves near a playoff position. Now they're going to be starting Jonas Korpisalo as their starter, and he hasn't been the best goalie in the league, and he's going to have to be thrown into a starting position because they lost Sergei Bobrovsky. No one wanted to sign there. This team is falling apart again, and it's absolutely ridiculous what the Nashville Predators, or what the Columbus Blue Jackets went through. It's a bunch of garbage. Panarin, Bobrovsky, stupid Russians. They betrayed the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's horrible, but it's the way that the NHL works. So, one of the other teams that I think that did really good this free agency was the Dallas Stars. Coming off of a pretty solid year, making it into the playoffs, and they've done some pretty good moves. And you could take a look at this team's age. It's a very old team. Like, most of their offensive core is above 30 years old, which you don't really see from very many teams. But they signed Joe Pavelski to a 3-year, $7 million deal, which I really don't think is the smartest decision for them, but it's their decision, right? You can't change what they want to do with their team. It's their decision. And they also picked up Corey Perry for a year at $1.5 million, which I also think is a very good deal. Corey Perry, I know he's been struggling with the past couple of years, but he's a solid player. This team is going to be definitely a grittier team than you see from other teams. And you're going to definitely really see this team take another step up with Andrej Sekera as well. He got $1.5 million this year, and he's looking like he should be a solid defenseman. You take a look at this, Esa Lindell, John Klingberg, and Andrei Sekera, and not just that, Miro Haskinainen, all guys that can move that puck is going to be a very tough team to defend against. And then you got Jamie Alexiak, Roman Polak, some big fucking name players that are big. This team is going to be a good team. And then you have a great goaltender like Ben Bishop, and Ben Bishop has been absolutely ridiculous in that net. He's been playing fantastic. And I really think that this was a big win for the Dallas Stars this offseason. We'll have to see what Joe Pavelski can do with that second line, because they've been looking for a second line centerman for a long time. And you bring in Joe Pavelski, that really builds you a good second line just with having Joe Pavelski there, and then having that lethal first line of Ben, Sagan, and Radulov. You can really see a big-time future out of the Dallas Stars, and I'm really excited to see what they will bring this upcoming season, as they're definitely going to be one of the prominent teams in the Central Division. Now, let's all talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh my god, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just absolutely love them, you know? Like, you know what? The thing I hate about the Toronto Maple Leafs is that they're the most talked about team. Like, everyone loves sucking their dick, it seems like. And I'm not hating on the Toronto Maple Leafs. I love them, but they're most of the best team in the NHL. Well, not really, but everyone loves them, right? Everyone loves the Toronto Maple Leafs. But there was some Toronto Houdini this weekend, or this Canada Day. Kyle Dubas is a fucking goddamn genie, man. Oh my god. The things that he did this offseason. Trading away Nikita Zaitsev's contract and also getting rid of Connor Brown to release some cap space. You pick up Cody Ceci, who is going to be the identical contract. I mean, not the best idea, and they're practically identical players, but you kind of free up some term on the year, which is nice. And then you get this ridiculous, fucking easy difficulty trade. The Colorado Avalanche sends you Tyson Barrie with 50 fucking % retained on his salary cap. Oh, not just that. No, we're not dumb. You also get Alexander Kerfoot, which is a perfect third-line centerman, and a 6th-round pick. And Colorado, what did they get? Nazem Kadri. Oh my god. A guy who is a fucking agitator piece of shit. Yeah, he can score easily 30 goals for you, but, I mean, that's not worth a defenseman like Tyson Barrie. What's the second piece? Callie Rosen? What the actual fuck? Colorado? Man, the fans were absolutely aggravated. Tyson Barrie had a fucking career year. He was one of the best defensemen on the Colorado Avalanche, but you traded him away. How is that at all a smart idea for your team? No, it's not. It's one of the dumbest moves that we've seen from this offseason. And we've seen a lot of moves. The PK Subban one was pretty dumb too, but that was to release some cap space just to get fucking Matt Duchene. I mean, this was a dumb move from the Colorado Avalanche. Why give them 50% retained? Why do that to Kyle Dubas? Like, my lord. You take Nazem Kadri and nobody else like Callie Rosen. What the fuck is Callie Rosen gonna do on your team, Colorado? Yeah, you have Cal Maker. Yeah, you just picked up Bowen Bryant. But do you really think that's gonna be, good enough? I don't think so. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know what this team is gonna fucking do. It is really weird that they did that. Tyson Barrie's a perfect defenseman. I don't know why they get rid of him. I'm kind of aggravated at Toronto because they get a free trade like that, and yet we had to trade Hall for fucking Larson. My lord, you could trade Nazem Kadri for fucking Tyson Barrie and Alexander Kerfoot. Why can't we do that? Oh, yeah, let's trade away Taylor Hall. Oh, who's that? Adam Larson. Oh, great. I'm still aggravated at that trade so long ago. But, fucking things change. Oh, my God. Other news. Montreal Canadiens offer sheeted Sebastian Aho, which was the first offer sheet, I'm pretty sure, in 7 years. I'm pretty sure the last one was when Philly was heading after Shea Weber, if I'm pretty sure about that. I mean, hasn't been very many qualifying offer sheets in the past couple years. I mean, it's been here and there, but not very much. I mean, this was probably one of the biggest ones on free agency day, and then, of course, Carolina matched it anyways, so it doesn't really matter anyways. But Carolina has to pay up front $21 million. Carolina has to pay up front to Sebastian Aho. $21 million right up front. And I mean, fuck me, that's a hell of a lot of money to pay that man up front. It sucks for Carolina because we all know that Carolina doesn't have that much money. And Montreal, fucking, they're millionaires, man. They got a lot of money there, and it sucks that you have to pay him that amount of money. Signing bonus is $11 million, and then the total salary is $12 million. Like, the bonuses are off the charts. The bonuses come to $38 million, and the average value is $42 million. I mean, it's a lot of money for sure for Sebastian Aho. He's a hell of a player, and he definitely deserves that. With how good of a team the Carolina Hurricanes are, they're gonna of course have to pay him up, and it's just gonna be a thing that the Carolina Hurricanes are gonna have to learn to deal with. That they're gonna have to pay money to big time players like that. It sucks for them, but it is what it is. Now, there has been a lot of free agencies or a lot of free agent contracts, a lot of big ones. I mean, we could go over them hours on end and talk about each individual one. That's why I wish I could stream. I really wish I could. And I'm so sorry, you guys, that I couldn't do kind of like a live reaction. We're going to go over the top 3 stupidest contracts so I'm going to be looking over quickly. The first one we're going to talk about. Brandon Tanev signed a 6-year deal with the Pittsburgh Penguins for $3.5 million. Now, this one was ridiculously stupid because Brandon Tanev is not a type of player that you pay that amount of money to. 29 points. I mean, he was nowhere near a type of player that you pay $3.5 million. That's what Brett Connolly made. It was a stupid deal. Definitely not what the Pittsburgh Penguins needed is grit. I mean, they've been going good with the speed and stuff like that. I don't know why they need to change things up, but it was a really stupid deal to do. Definitely wasn't the smartest. We'll have to see what comes to the future of that deal. I don't think it's going to really turn out to be the best. Anton Stralman, 5.5 for 3 years. I think I would have signed him to 1 year. Even if it was at 5.5 for 1 year, I would have done that any day of the week. Because with how old he is, I don't think he's going to be an especially good player. And I think he's definitely going to drop off pretty goddamn soon. So you really got to be careful about that. Oh, in the Minnesota Wild, I mean, this team keeps fucking thinking that they're in the playoffs, you know, just like, oh yeah, we're in the playoffs. Like, we're so fucking close to being in the playoffs, so let's get Matt Zuccarello and sign him to $6 million for 5 years. Oh, and let's snap a fucking no movement clause on him as well, because, you know, Zach Parise and Ryan Suter. I mean, might as well. Oh, yeah, like, how is that working out, Minnesota? How is Zach Parise and Ryan Suter doing for your team when they're locked up for fucking years and going to be signed till they're 40? No, not very fucking smart. And you signed Matt Zuccarello to a stupid deal, too. I mean, oh my god. I don't know, man. Minnesota frustrates me always because I see these stupid deals for them, and they always think they're a playoff team when they're nowhere near one. They're nowhere near being in a playoff position, but they still fucking do it. It makes no sense for the Minnesota Wild to sign Matt Zuccarello to a $6 million deal when really you trade away Mikael fucking Granlund for Kevin fucking Fiala. How is that at all a smart fucking deal? Paul Fenton is a fucking dumbass. Plus, you have Bruce Boudreau as your coach. How is he? He's the dumbest coach in the league. I mean, the Minnesota Wild is just a garbage team, and I don't know what else to say about this team. They're going to keep going down in a spiral in a fucking garbage and shit because this team is really going to just die out sooner or later. Like, there's no way of fixing it. They tried to pick up Phil fucking Kessel for fuck's sakes, man. This is how desperate this team is. And no one wants to go to the Wild. Phil Kessel didn't even want to go to the Wild. He went to fucking Arizona. Do you know how ridiculous that is to Minnesota? And saying that this is not a hockey town, but Arizona is? Man, Minnesota, I would just fold up and die, man. Fuck me. Yeah, so that practically wraps up everything. Now let's talk about my boys, the Edmonton Oilers, who has $3.9 million in salary cap. And, man, do I have a bit of belief for this team, man? I have a bit of it. And I know my dad's a little bit fucking retrospective of this team. He's not very skeptical of what the fuck they've been doing and why did they buy out Andre Sekera when they could have bought out Chris Russell and stuff like that. Yada, yada, yada. Now, yes, there's been a lot of questions. Why did we buy out Andre Sekera instead of buying out Chris Russell or Sam Gagner or something like that? I mean, this is the way that you get the most salary cap out of everyone. Sam Gagner, you only get a bit of salary cap relief, and I mean, you don't get very much, but there's been a lot of smart moves with this team. We're going to talk about Alex Chasson at first. We pay him for $2.15 million. And I think that's an awesome deal for a player who got 22 goals, 38 points. He was a solid third line player for us, and we really need him to step up to be that third line player again. He was the answer for the team, as everyone calls him, Alex the Answer Chassance. So hopefully he can have another solid year for us. And then you also signed Marcus Granlund to a $1.3 million deal. I don't think this was a dumb move at all. He's a good penalty killer. He's a solid player for the Edmonton Oilers. I really do believe that taking chances is what we need. What we did with Joakim Nygard, what we did with Thomas Jurko, because Ken Holland knows these players. I mean, Thomas Jurko is a good bet. You also pick up Gaetan Haas, which is also a good bet for a good third line, fourth line player. So a lot of chances. And I mean, this is gonna be a chance team. If that's the shit that's gonna have to go down. Really, it's just the way that shit has to go. Next year, I really like this team could possibly do very well. Sam Gagner didn't do that bad, 10 points in 25 games. We'll have to see. It's going to be really a bet year next year. We have Darnell Nurse, who's a free agent next year. We get Manning off the books. We get Manning. We get Gagner. We get Cassie. And we get a lot of people off the books for next year. So we're going to really have to see what this team does. And it's going to be exciting. We got Mike Smith as our backup goaltender. I know a lot of people were thinking that this is not the smartest idea, picking up an old fragile goaltender, but this helps out Mika Koskinen since we have to have him for 3 years on a no trade clause / no movement clause. So we'll have to really see what happens with this Edmonton Oilers. We're going to keep you up to date with all the news and stuff like that if there's any more big free agents, signings or tradings, because there's a pretty good amount, and I know we're not going to be able to go all over it. I know there's a lot of deals for the Toronto Maple Leafs, which we covered. Now there's only a couple free agents left, man. Ryan Dzingel, Jake Gardiner, Patrick Marleau, Michael Fearland, Marcus Johansson, who wasn't really talked about over the free agency. But there's definitely a lot of guys that you're going to be looking at for this upcoming free agency, and I'm really excited to see where this team takes us next for the Edmonton Oilers and what comes next with free agency. There's so many RFAs that still haven't been signed and stuff like that, so there's still a lot of videos that will be coming out with the whole free agency and stuff like that, so I will keep you up to date on everything. Sorry guys, my camera totally cut out there because my phone storage is absolutely brutal and I barely got any left, which is the reason why I'm going to be getting a new phone here soon for when I do vlogs, when I hopefully do that in Calgary when I move. Anyways, I'm going to be talking about one more thing before I end off the video, and that is a new series I'm going to be starting up on my YouTube channel. I've already got 4 going already, which is a ton, and then plus talking about the NHL, which, excuse me, which is a lot already, and it's a little bit ridiculous how many series I got going. Now, there's been 1 or 2 series that haven't been too successful. I want to keep continuing them no matter what. So I'm going to keep continuing my road to the show, my league, the franchise mode for MLB the show, everything. We're going to be coming up with a brand new series, and that is Friday Challenges, where I will be picking a game that I think will be fun, or MLB, NHL, Minecraft, any game I'm going to be doing a challenge on. So if you guys have any suggestions, please comment that down below. I could really use any of your guys' suggestions for those Friday challenges. I already have one planned for the first Friday, which is already coming up, which is absolutely ridiculous. I got to record it tomorrow, which is amazing that I got to do that. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Tell me guys how you think I did on the video. I could really use any of your guys' suggestions or tips or anything that I need to do better on my videos. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios, amigos.